Okay, so I get asked a couple of questions sometimes when I'm fishing of what my setup is for trout fishing at Walden Pond. It's pretty simple. Like for example, today there was a father and his two kids fishing. They weren't going to catch anything, so I showed them where the fish were at and also where they needed to cast. But they couldn't do it because they had pretty heavy rods. Right here that I'm using is a Okuma Celilo. It's a $20 to $30 rod, very cheap, ultralight. I think this is 6'6" This is just a President Pflueger, your reel doesn't need to be very good. I mean, the setup to catch trout can be really cheap, anywhere from total of like $50 really. Okay, so when I usually cast, I cast out about anywhere from 30 to 50 feet out. The further you cast out sometimes, the better chances of getting trout. What I use here is 4-pound test, fluorocarbon, and I'm using a tungsten bullet weight. This is a 1/2 ounce. I usually don't go more than that. Sometimes I go with a 1/8 ounce, depending on the my rod. Just a normal bead, a barrel swivel, and this is important. I use a 4-foot leader. It's a long leader, and the reason why is because Walden Pond has some very tall plant growth underwater, so you don't want it to be like 2 feet long and get caught up in the plants. So you want to make sure that they're slightly over or a little bit higher over so the trout can see them. And what I usually do is use floating Powerbait, so which is anywhere from green Chartreuse color or yellow, glitter. It depends on the trout. Like if I try pink or red, they usually don't go for it in Walden Pond. But if I go to my brother's over in Washington State and fish for trout there, they won't even touch the yellow and the Chartreuse color, but they'll go for the pink and the red all the time. And so the hook I'm using is just, and you can see it, the details in the description below, but this is just a size 8. It's kind of like an Octopus circle hook. It's even got a little bit Baitholder notch. It's really, really good. I like it a lot. The reason why you want something circle and something slightly turned is once a trout eat it and it goes down, when you set the hook, or even if they turn very fast, sometimes the hook will set itself. People suggest a very small amount of Powerbait dough, barely enough to cover the hook, and that's fine. You don't want to put too much, because if you put too much, the hook won't be able to set because it has to go through. So all you have to do is cover it up like this. This is like the minimum amount I would put on a bait. I would actually put on a little bit more. See that? I would usually put it on a little bit more just so the fish can see it, but this is the minimum amount, and this will work just fine. It's about, just enough to cover the hook and a little bit more padding, so when they bite into it, they won't feel the hook right away. You can let them swallow it a little bit, and then you can set the hook. If you're not doing catch and release, this is just a deadly way to catch trout. Anyways, hopefully that helped.